don't know if it's working again. What the fuck? Shit's so frustrating. I think it's working, but I can't see if anybody's here. Gaming. Why is it category to gaming? Because that's not right. Okay, if you can hear me, please let me know. Ooh, that made a weird noise. Da 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 da. Anybody here? It says there's one in the chat thing, but I don't see anything. If you are here, let me know that it's working. Yes, thank you, Daniel. Awesome. Welcome. How is the sound, by the way? Am I echoey? Is it like okay? Because last time I tried this, it was very wonky. I also know that the what you're seeing is delayed a little bit, and I don't know how to fix that. So I think it's set like that so I can catch up to the comments, but I'm not quite sure. But yeah, as for sound, let me know like if it's echoey or I don't know if there's something wrong with it. Okay, it is 12 o'clock. Okay, Daniel, where are you from? Okay, the sound mic is good. Awesome. Okay, good. Perfect. I'm always worried about that because this is literally my second live stream and I do not know what I'm doing. But yeah, where are you from? I'm just curious. I posted on Instagram that I was doing this live a few days ago. But Veronique, yay! I got more people. I was so worried. Like, I thought maybe I don't know. I had one person in here for a while and I was like, uh-oh. Not that that's bad or anything, but I was like, uh-oh. Yeah. Oh, nice. From Sonoma. That's awesome. So your time is what, 4 hours behind? So, is it like 8 o'clock there? Well, yeah. My last stream was very like spur of the moment because I was thinking like, oh shit, like I wanted to do stream on Halloween. And I was like, you know what? I haven't done a stream ever and I don't know how it works. And so I learned that I had to have different software on top of YouTube. Oh, hi Jen. Hi. So I had to have different software. It's weird because Instagram, you just hit live and you're live. YouTube, there's a lot of freaking hoops you gotta jump through. 9 o'clock. Okay. Yeah, so YouTube, there's a lot of hoops you gotta jump through. And I was thinking about I was thinking about streaming through Twitch as well because I feel like there's a lot of people on that platform and I kind of wanted to mix it up. But yeah, happy Halloween, everybody. And yes, I am wearing my outfit. I mean, all I need is, well, I don't technically need a reason to like cosplay and shit. I'll fucking do it. I don't give a shit. But the second it was Halloween and I realized I can wear a costume, I was like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Oh, thanks. So I wanted to straighten my hair, but I lost my hair straightener, so I did this. I'm gonna let more people roll into the chat a little bit before I start. Probably I'll start around 12:10, if that's okay. So, how was everybody? And sorry in advance if you see me, like grab tissues. It's because I'm allergic to dust. And, well, what is makeup? It's dust. So, please excuse this brief interruption. And I hope I don't have to keep doing it during the stream. Usually in my regular videos, I'm doing it like 30 times. But I edit it out so you guys don't know. Oh, so I'm going to talk about this again when more people come in, but yesterday I had my past life regression session, and holy shit, you guys. I am like stoked to talk about it. It was amazing. It didn't go the way I thought it would go, but it wasn't bad at all. It was amazing. Keep fidgeting with my costume because the hand things it's just annoying, and I don't like when I don't have certain mobility in my hands. Got my armor. And also, Veronique, I celebrate Samhain today. Walk through the forest and about to have a dumb supper. That's when you have dinner with dead relatives. Excited about it. Yo, that sounds like a good time. I wish that I was near a forest right now because, well, it's raining. But if it wasn't raining, I would be in the forest. The past. Okay, so I went to see a girl in Philly, like Center City, Philly. Her name's Lauren. Unfortunately, she's moving, so like if you lived in Philly or live in Philly, it'll be difficult. But she does sessions online. But basically, it was kind of like a guided meditation, and I think she does offer other services like hypnotism to get you where you need to be, or like I think she does Reiki and stuff. But she did a guided meditation for me, and she made it like really easy. So like if you are having issues with meditation and you get distracted by sounds and stuff, she made it where like I got like these sound proof headphone things, and then I got this thing to cover my eyes, which is very helpful because when I do, or when I get visions and stuff, or even have like astral projection like moments, my eyes are usually open. But it's hard to do it in the light when my eyes are open. So like having that blindfold thing, but being able to open my eyes helps a lot. Because it's hard for me to do it with my eyes closed. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. But I have to have my eyes open, but it's got to be dark at the same time, if that makes sense. So she made it to where it was really quiet. And she had this headphone and what do you call it, microphone, and it's recorded. So once I get that video from her, I will post it on my channel. It was so amazing. But so she has a microphone and she talks into it. So all you hear in the headphones is her talking and guiding through the meditation. So it was so much easier to get into it than it is regularly. So that's how she did it for me. And then, of course, she had all these incense going. Like, I think it was sage, and she burnt a dragon's blood candle for me, since that's something I use. But yeah, that's how it started. Derek Payne's Subliminals is watching a show or movie that has a name of a real demon, even if it's a fictionalized version, attract that demon. Yes. Okay, so if you're watching a movie, and I'll use The Conjuring for an example, right? Even though it didn't have that demon's name of what the entity, like who it was still about it, right? And because it was a real entity, watching that film, documentary, whatever the hell it is, actually can attract it. It doesn't really matter if it's fictionalized or not, because it's about that demon, and the demon knows that you're watching it. So for me, when I watched Conjuring, all hell broke loose, and so I accidentally, of course, astral projected to that moment in time when George was a child and I was in that house, and I saw that demon, and it was influencing him to, feel certain things. So, of course, he was being influenced to feel like very, what do you call it? Like murdery? So I was feeling that from him, and I was able to feel what he was feeling in that situation. And so even if you're watching a movie and it has the name of the real demon, but the demon that they're portraying doesn't look like the demon, or it's fictionalized, doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Same thing with reading. So if you're reading a paranormal fiction book, right, and you have the name of the real demon, that demon knows you're reading it. It knows, like, you're thinking about it. So yeah, it can attract the demon. It depends on the person too. It's not going to happen every single time. It's usually for those who are more like awakened and they have that, bright light. It will attract usually because it's like drawing a moth to a flame. So it can attract the demon. Now, there are some people that, are just reading a book because they're reading a book and they're, want to read a book. And they're not awakened. They're just like in the dark kind of. It is still possible to attract them, but there are just some people that it doesn't really bother. So it depends on the person and if the demon, is attracted to you. Does that help? Does that answer your question, Derek? All right, so it is 12:12 right now. So we are going to crack into it. And I'm sorry that the colors in the background are like being wonky. I don't know why it is. It just is. Okay, cool. So if you've watched any of my recent videos, you will notice that I want to do a giveaway. And it's once I hit 1,111 subscribers, I want to give away this book, The Exorcist, first edition, signed by Linda Blair, which is the lady who played Regan in the movie. And I thought that would be a cool, like little giveaway to give. So we gotta get those subs, you guys. It is 5:12 at your play. Wow, Veronique. But yeah, I want to do giveaways and stuff on this channel. I want to make it fun and very like what do you call it? Immersive for you guys. So you're not just watching something and, I want you guys to be able to participate kind of like a class. So I want to do live streams semi-regularly, at least once a month, maybe twice. It depends on my new transfer and how much time I can have between working there and being able to focus on YouTube and like my paranormal art business. So I'm hoping to do that. Trying to think what else. I'm not sure. Okay, so since there's a bunch of you guys in here, I'm going to talk about some visualization things that can help you when meditating and trying to like astral project and stuff. And then I'll go into my past life regression. But so if you guys have issues, hi Megan, if you guys are having issues visualizing, so like when you're trying to protect yourself and create that bright light barrier, right? And you guys have some guy, wow, I can't talk, seriously. Yeah, so if you guys are having issues trying to visualize that, there's some exercises that you can do and that I've done that help tremendously. And I'm only bringing this up because I've actually had a few people message me on Instagram like asking me about this. So I figured I would just talk about it real quick today. So the first thing that I did was I picked a room in my house, right? So like a detective, and I feel like this is a thing that when you're learning to be a detective and stuff, they'll make you do this, but you want to pick a room in your house, right? It doesn't matter what room it is, and you're going to sit somewhere, and then you are going to look around, right? You're going to try to memorize everything that is in your room that you're sitting in. Then you are going to, you can either close your eyes and do this, or go into a different room and then write everything down, or you can try to redraw it of where everything is. So once you have that memorization of where everything is, it's easier to picture where these things are, right? And so you're building that muscle in your brain of remembering, but also you're also visualizing at the same time. So it's kind of like a neat little trick to get your brain trained. So that's what I've done, and it helped me a lot. Also, in meditation, I mean, for me, it's just easy to say, like, close your eyes and visual certain things. So, like, don't try to visual too much at the same time if you're not good at it. So you can literally just sit somewhere and close your eyes, and then if there's a certain thing you want to create in your mind, create it. Another fun way to do this is, for me, like when I started like art and whatnot, we, as a like a practice thing for visualization, we would look at a whatever we want to draw, right? But we were only allowed to look at it for 60 seconds, and then we had to turn around and then we had to draw it. So that can also help you. So yeah, happy Halloween, everyone. All right, it's 12:17, and I'm going to talk about my past life regression session that I had yesterday, and I'm going to go over and how it was set up, just in case you guys missed it. But, so, I went to this girl in Center City, Philly. She is also a medium. She's really skilled. And so she made it like a very controlled environment and very comfortable. So it was really easy to go into a meditation state. So she had this like beanbag chair thing. It's like long. I kind of want to get one too, because that was really cool. But so she had me lay on that. She covered my eyes with this blindfold, but it looked like goggles. So if you wanted to open your eyes, you can. And for me, that's the best way that I, can see visions and, astral project and stuff and like remember it. So I had this blindfold, and then she gave me these headphones that canceled out sound outside, but she also had it hooked up to a microphone, so when she spoke, I could hear her and only her and nothing outside. And all this is recorded, and once I get it, I will put it on my channel, and I'll make a whole separate video. But it's going to take a few days until I can get that video. So anyway, I go in. She first talks about like trying to get me into this calm, relaxed, meditative state. And so she just pretty much did your typical guided meditation. She's like, okay, picture yourself where you feel most comfortable, calm, and whatnot. For me, that is like a jungle and a beach, like all in one. I don't know why, it just is. And so then she, says some things and then guides me into my past life. And I only had one past life regression. I was hoping I was going to have like a few, but I only had one. I don't know why. I had another one separate from this experience a few months ago. So there's that. But so basically in my one past life that she brought me to, I was an old man, and I can describe what he looked like. So I think I was in India. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I was in India. And I was this old man. I had like white linen clothes, shirt, pants, bare feet. I don't know why, but I noticed that this person that I was liked to be barefoot all the time, which is kind of funny because when I was younger, I always loved to be barefoot. I hated wearing shoes. I kind of still hate wearing shoes, but he was barefoot the entire time. And it starts with me getting off a ship and landing on a beach, and I'm standing there in the water, and I am just kind of like feeling empty. And she kept trying to like say like, how do you feel? And I'm like, I don't know how I feel. I don't feel anything. And she's like, okay. And so as we progress, I am walking up the beach for a bit. It's flat for, it feels like a mile of just flat beach. I don't know. But then eventually I get up to like this hill, and they have like the little seagrass things growing out of the sand. And then I eventually work my way up, and I feel like I've been walking for, I don't know, hours. I'm not sure. And it's hot, and I feel like I'm in a desert. And then I feel like I'm looking at pyramids. And I just passed them, and I feel like, I kept walking and walking, and it's hot. I could literally feel the hot sand on my feet. And so eventually, I find myself at this cliff. It's just like a straight cliff, right? And like there's these little cutouts of like, it looks like people live in the caves. It's weird. And so the reason why we believe I was in India, and I'll explain that further, but so there are these caves in India. There's a lot. I forget what they're called, of course. I have them on my phone. I literally have it because I was looking to see if I could find where I was. So there's a bunch of caves. So there is the Ajanta caves, the Elephanta caves, the Karla caves, the Badami caves, and I think there's like 10 or 15. I'm sure there's even more than that. But they literally are like what I saw. So I greet this man at an entrance, right? And it's all rock. And he's holding a like a walking stick. And he's wearing like this linen again. But his outfit has like a sash thing. And it has like red, blue, green, black, and white, and it's striped. And he's really old. He has a long white beard. And so I walk in the cave. We don't even talk to each other. I walk into the cave, and he's behind me. And he guides me to this dark, well, the whole thing's dark because it's a cave. But I think he had a lantern of some sort. And so we're walking, and I get to this like cutout really. And it has like this ledge built into the wall, and it's like it reminds me of like if you ever go to a restaurant and you're in a booth, and how sometimes there's this thing like a seat that kind of like wraps around the wall, and then you have a table. It was kind of like that, but minus the table. And so like the sitting thing was built into the wall. It just looked like it was chiseled out. But this whole cave I was in, it had rooms, and all of it was made of like rock. So it was cold, damp, but there were a lot of people in there. Like, again, like they lived there. I saw families, and eventually I sat there, and my past me fell asleep. He just nodded off, and I'm like, okay, why am I seeing this? Like, what is the purpose? But then these people in black came, and they reminded me of I don't know what movie it is, but they had black on, but they had like that towel or scarf thing. I don't know if it's I don't know what it's called, you guys. I feel bad. Sikhs, they wear them. Oh, like a turban, right? And it was black, and it covered their entire head, their neck, and all you could see were their eyes. And it was kind of like that material, and it was all black. They were all wearing black. Their shoes were black. Kind of, yeah, that's how it was. And so they tried to take me away, and I didn't fight. I kind of just went into it and just followed them down this corridor, and then I'm in a room by myself, and I didn't hear much, but that doesn't mean that they didn't say anything. I couldn't hear it. I was pretty much just kind of like watching it. And so I'm in this room that has literally nothing, and I'm kneeling on the cold like stone ground on my knees, and it's wet, dank, and I was freezing. Like, the girl guiding me had to put blankets on top of me because I was freezing. And so it looked like I was praying on my knees, kind of like a that kind of motion. And then we get to this person that looked like he was like a king or an emperor or what have you. And what he wore kind of looked very like Egyptian, but I'm not sure what. Like, I don't know who or what it really was, but all I knew was he was a narcissistic asshole and pretty much told my past self that, you know, you're vermin, you're garbage, I don't want you here, like, you need to leave, and was just nasty. And so eventually I got killed. I got killed by this jerk. And then that's when that past life left. And then I went into my higher self. And then I went back to like my space where I like to, I don't know, my calm space. And then I am asked, so what did you learn? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know at the time. And then, so she's like, okay, it might take some time to like, you know, learn and figure it out and think about it. And so I was able to go into my higher self. And this is the most exciting part, you guys. I met Archangel Michael. It was so amazing. And then he brought me to this, I'm not sure what. It's hard to describe because when I was, you know, like seeing it, I was seeing it from the third person, but also as my higher self, if that makes sense. And the girl guiding me, she's like, so how can you see that way? And the only answer that I got was, everything's energy and consciousness, so you can tap into different views. And I was like, oh shit, okay, that makes sense. But literally, that was my higher self answering that question. And I didn't realize it, but I was like, oh lit, okay, that makes sense. So then I see Michael, and again, for whatever reason, a lot of times when I'm astral projecting, not all the time is it all colors and bright and stuff. Sometimes it's really hazy, foggy, black and white. I don't know why that is. But, so anyway, he kept fading in and out. And it's because our energy frequencies, he's got to lower his to get to me, to match mine so I can see him. And so there was some mismatch, which made it really hard to like see him 100% and bright and whatnot. But I was able to talk with him for a while, and I was surprised because usually when I go to sleep at night, the experience only lasts for like 30 seconds that I can remember. It's probably longer, but I just don't remember it. But this experience was so freaking long. And so he gives me a weapon. And I'm like, oh, lit, I have a weapon, but you're giving me this one? Like, I'm fine with that. Like, that's freaking cool. And it is a double-sided staff, okay? And so, from what I remember, the blades on each side, right, they're made out of, like, this crystal-y material. It was weird. I've never seen it before. It almost reminded me of, like, clear quartz, but it was much more foggy and stronger. And so the blades were probably like this long, maybe like, it's hard to get it in the, so probably about like 12 inches. And so it was like that on both sides. And then it was like this, I don't know if it was metal. I'm not quite sure what like the middle part was. And it was kind of like this design that went around, like a spiral. And it was like a black engraving of it. And it felt cold, so it felt like some kind of metal. So I was holding on to this. And I was like, okay, what does it do? And he's like, okay, well, it's it has multi-functions. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was able to, with pressure, it could go longer or it could go shorter. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, that is awesome. And then I was like, okay, is that it? And he's like, no. And so I give it to him, and he breaks it apart. And so now I have 2 weapons. And it is the coolest thing, guys, because I love my dual swords. Like, I love them so much. And so having dual, like, a multi-purpose, like, staff thing. But I was like, okay, so is that it? He's like, no. And so, like, he explains how the materials at each end, the blade part, can harness light energy, and I can use that light energy to, attack and defend. And it was so cool. And of course, like, if you know how to manipulate, like, your golden light, you can use it as a weapon. And I could put it and use it inside in the weapon, and then because of the weapon, it was easier to manipulate and control that energy into one thing. So that was awesome. And then he's like, he throws it, and I'm like, okay, why are you throwing it? And it came back like a boomerang. It was so cool. So each piece I could throw, and I could usually, like, kind of like throwing a boomerang or a ninja star, shuriken, whatever you call it. You could throw it and use it as, like, a throwing weapon, and it would come back. Like, it was so cool. And I know Melinda has talked about her weapon, and it's very similar. I don't know if she went into detail on what it does, but I feel like our weapons are similar, but I don't know if hers does the same thing as mine. But so that's what it does. And he's like, boop, puts it back together and gives it back. And so throughout the rest of the experience, I have my weapon. And it's getting hard to remember everything else that we talked about. Crap, because now I'm starting to lose it. Oh yeah, because she starts asking questions for me. Because at the beginning of the session, I ask her a bunch of questions that she wants to write down, so later she can ask my higher self and whomever else I meet, like my guides. So what do you say, Veronique? I have the same view when astral projecting. It's like I see myself in third person, but also being able to memorize the view of the first person. Yeah, that's literally it. It's bananas. And so then we start asking Michael the questions that I had asked her to write down. So, like, my illnesses, right? And deep down, I kind of already, like, knew this, and other people knew this and have told me about it, but this confirmed it for me. So, like, all the abdominal, like, illnesses that I have, that I've had since I was a kid, I guess, his explanation was I was always awakened. I just didn't know it. And so I had been absorbing the negative and toxic energy from everybody around me, and it just gathered in that area, which then manifested into illness, which makes sense. And so he was like, okay, there is a way you can help, like, heal yourself, because I've been trying to heal myself. And so he lays me down on, like, this table thing, and he literally gives me the reference of Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender. So if you guys have watched that show, this will make sense. So the way his hands were over me, right? He started at kind of like my chest area, and then started doing this flowy motion with his hands and tried to move that negative energy out through my feet. And when he did this, so backtrack a little bit. When I came in to her area to do this session, my bladder was in so much pain, And throughout the session, I literally got up like 6 times to pee because my bladder hurt so bad. But then when Michael started doing this, it looked like Katara moving water, but he was moving the energy out through my feet. And when he did this, my feet started to feel really hot. And before, in my past life, I was freezing, that she had to cover me in blankets, and my feet were cold because I was in that cold cave situation. But then being on that table and having him move that negative energy out, my feet got really, really hot. It was really weird. So he wants me to practice moving that energy out through my feet. And so when he did that, my bladder pain stopped and I didn't have to pee as often. And I was like, oh, lit. Like, this is awesome. So hopefully if I keep doing it, maybe my bladder situation will, it might not disappear, but it'll be much better. Just that session, like, my bladder doesn't hurt at all. And it usually hurts every single day that I have to take, medicine. I mean, I still have to take my medicine at night anyway, but usually that barely gets me by, and I always have like a constant burning, but I do not have that since that session and today at all. So that's pretty freaky deaky if you ask me. And so we talk more. So I asked him what's going on with my abilities, because before I was getting visions like this a lot. Like 2019, I was like visions every day of the future, of things that were going to happen, like in my house or, in the world. Like I predicted COVID, all that. And then all of a sudden it died down. And I'm like, and then I was wondering why. There are points where I can literally see dead people, like this pen is in front of me. Like I could see people that have passed on just like that. And then I got to a point where it disappeared. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, why am I not seeing it? And he explained for the dead people that each dead person is at their own frequency, right? And so the ones that I had seen, they were like a perfect sync to my frequency. So what I have to do in order to see, especially ones that have passed on, I need to raise my vibration to meet theirs. Just like how he had to lower his vibration to meet mine so that I could see him. So, and I was like, okay, well, how the hell do I do that? He's like, meditation. And you guys know how my mind is like all over the place and it can't focus. And so my meditation, if I can get into it, it's usually like 2 or 3 hours. But it's not it's not consecutive, if you know what I mean. So every day I get distracted, and so I don't do it as often as I should. And sometimes I'll do it like once or twice a week, but I should be doing it more. And I do it at work too when I don't have customers, but it isn't long enough. And he also said that I have to meditate on the astral realm as well. Not that, like, meditating here in the physical is good too, but I also have to do it on the astral realm. And to me, I was like, but if I'm already meditating, why do I have to do it on the astral realm? I didn't understand that you also had to do it on the astral realm as well. So you guys, you gotta meditate on the astral realm as well. And I was like, okay, where do I go? And he brings me to like this jungly forest thing, almost like the same one as where I was with my higher self, like as my calm place. But it's like a different version of it. And he's like a forest would be good. And I'm like, where? Like, really? Like, how? And you'll see in like the clip of my session that I snap at him and I'm like, okay, like, how does that help me? Like, I'm in Philly. There isn't a forest. I can just park my butt and just meditate. Like, what? And he's like, no. When you're on the astral realm, create your little, whatever it is, your happy place, and meditate there, but like in the forest. And I was like, oh. okay, that makes sense. And then I felt really bad for snapping at him, but he really didn't mind. Like, he was amazing with his attitude and my sarcasm, and I felt really bad. And sometimes, and I've explained this in some videos, that when I'm in my astral body, that it's kind of like an autopilot and it does its own thing. And it kind of felt like at points it did its own thing. And I don't ever want to be like snarky to an archangel. Like, no, that's not cool. But like my astral self was, and like, damn it. But he was really like he was okay with it, and he was really nice, and he just laughed, and he took it really well, and I just feel bad for that. So yeah. And then I ask him, who are my guides? And this is where things get really interesting. And so he expands his wings that he has. Sometimes when he appears, he doesn't have wings at all. And when he first appeared, he didn't have his wings, but then he did that wing thing, and then he disappeared. I'm like, oh no, where did you go? And so then I am back in a desert or somewhere really hot. I don't remember if it was the desert. All I remember is the ground was hot. It was like a light brown color, like, you know how it, yeah. Anyway, so, and it's hot, and I come across this woman, and she's one, I don't know if I mentioned her in any of my videos, but she has long black pin straight hair, and she has darker skin, like dark eyes. She looks really pretty, and then she's got like these gold bangles on her arms or her wrists, and I'm like, are you Ophelia or Philia? Like, that was the name that when I saw her she gave, and she didn't say anything. And all of a sudden, so my person who's guiding me, she's like, okay, well, if that's not her name, what it, like, and then she's like, use your weapon to unmask her, right? And she was the Indian goddess. I forget. I feel so bad now that I forget which one's which. But the one that looks like an elephant, that has that, you know, like the elephant trunk. And then all of a sudden, no, wait. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Shiva comes. He's coming, and he's floating, and he's, I don't know, he's floating on, I don't know if he's on a cloud or if it's just, he's floating with his legs in a pretzel, and he just comes, and I'm just like, hey, like, how's it going? Well, I'm trying to figure out this person who I thought was Philia or Philia, but she was a different, like, Indian deity. I don't know if it's Ganesh. I think it's Ganesh. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, please correct me, please. And then next to Shiva was a woman with longer hair. She was wearing red. She had all these like gold ornament things on her, like gold jewelry and stuff. And we found out that's Lakshmi. Okay, cool, Megan, thank you. So we figured out that's Lakshmi, and I'm like, the only deities that I know from like the India like religion and all that is Shiva. I didn't know anything about the other two. And I'm like, so you guys are my guides? And then I was like, so wait, why did you say your name was Philia? And she laughed at me, you guys. She laughed at me like she was messing with me. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't say fuck because, like, deities here, you guys. But, so I'm like, okay, so you're my guides? Like, that's really cool. I'm happy with that. Like, awesome. But there was still one that was missing that I couldn't, like, connect with. And she's the one that I've seen the most. And she also has dark hair. And it's really, like, short, like, not longer than shoulder length. And she looks like she's in her mid-30s or early 40s. And she reminded me of my aunt, but I don't think it was her. But I had been in communication with her a lot, but it was just strange that she wasn't there or that I couldn't connect with her. So there's still one that I'm just like, who are you? And whatnot. But yeah, so I met Shiva again. I met Lakshmi, who is the deity of wealth. And a few weeks ago, because this is funny, I did a spell for, I wanted to get some more money in and, make YouTube a success and, get some more art commissions in. And so after I did it, I literally got like 2 commissions that were a lot of money. And then I got this offer on LinkedIn for an illustration for a children's book. So I might be illustrating a children's book. And then, so like, it works. And I'll put the link of what I used and how I did it down whenever this video is over and I can edit everything. But, so I did that. And so when I saw Lakshmi, who is the deity of wealth, I was like, okay, like, I'm feeling this. Like, I hope that this whole thing I'm trying to create with everybody, that it actually is a success, and I think it will be. But yeah, so I met those 3 deities, and we didn't talk very much, but then I was asked again, what did you learn from your past life? And I completely forgot about it, and I was like, But then I realized this person had gone through life alone. And, well, if you don't already know, I'm the kind of person who likes to work on projects a lot. And when I do that, I kind of separate myself from friends and family that, family is getting very irritated that I don't go to, like, their get-togethers and stuff. But it's not that I don't like them. It's because, A, the energy that I feel from them, because a lot of them are toxic, it's very overwhelming, and it makes me feel like shit. Literally, it does. So I try to distance myself and work on my projects to, limit some interaction, but also because I'm so into my projects that I lose track of time and all sense of like where I am, because there's so many things I want to do for this channel, for my business that I'm trying to create. I have a novel that I'm writing. I want to make tarot cards and oracle cards and comics, and I want to do all these projects. But if I do that and don't have anyone to share it with, what is the point, is what they're trying to say. So if you're trying to like do all this stuff, but then you lose your friends and family and you're by yourself, then what's the point, pretty much, is what they were trying to say. And I get it. And I gotta do better with family and whatnot. And I feel bad. And I'm trying to remember what else, because there was so much that went on. So, yeah, I don't remember anymore. Crap. But yeah, so that was the experience that I had in my past life regression, and I only had that one life. And then, so yeah, it was over, and then I talked to Lauren, which was the person that, helped me do this. And we spoke for a while, and we were just, going through some things. And I wanted to show her the video of what happened when I had another past life regression like a few months ago, and I couldn't find the video, so I don't even know if I made it. But I know I told Melinda about it, and I don't know. And my memory is so bad that I don't even remember if I talked about it in our collab. But so I'm just going to run through that real quick too. So I had read this book about astral projection. Well, I should say I had it read to me on audio while I worked. And so I was listening to that. Awesome. So then when I got home to meditate the same day, that's when this experience happened. So I went into my astral body and I found myself flying in space, and it was really fun, not gonna lie. And so I come across this planet. It is an Earth-like planet. I don't know where in the galaxy. I don't know. But it's an Earth-like planet. And so I get through past the atmosphere and I'm just like hovering and I'm watching these animals that look like dinosaurs, but they're not quite dinosaurs. They look like dinosaurs but mammals, but like a mixture of both. So you have this dinosaur that, if you ever watched I think it's The Land Before Time. Has anybody seen that movie? Ducky, that one that has like that weird like thing on her head. It was kind of like that, but they ran, I don't know, some of them ran on fours, some of them ran like chickens, but they were like these black animals. They were massive, probably like the size of a bison maybe, and they're just running in herds, and I'm floating above it, and you're on like these plains, and it's all green, and they're just running in herds across. And so I fly a little bit closer, and I get to this area. It's kind of like a cliff near like the ocean, so there's ocean, and there's these rocks that jut out of the water, and they're really big, they're really tall, and it kind of surrounds like part of the hill that they came from and that they're running down. And so I watched these animals run in herds. It was so beautiful. And so I'm flying around. There's a lot of ocean. Honestly, the area kind of reminded me of New Zealand, like how that geography is. And it was so green. It didn't look like there were any people though. It was weird. Just animals and like plant life and stuff. And so then I find myself like in this spacecraft, and I mean, I can only see the inside of it, and it looked like Star Warsy or Star Trekky, but like way different. Like the same like what do you call it? Like the same machinery and tech, but different. I don't know how else to describe it. It wasn't like futuristic. It kind of looked old, but like, I don't know. The best way to describe it is it looked like the same tech inside of the ship. If you ever watched Guardians of the Galaxy, their ship, it kind of looked like that, but it was massive. It wasn't tiny like theirs. And it was all like silver. Everything was silver. And there were buttons that would glow like blue and green. It was so neat. And so I'm there, and I think there's one or two people there. I know there's one. And there was a guy. He had an accent, almost Australian, but not quite. It was kind of like Australian, but he was in a different country with a different language, so it kind of was like a blend of two. And he was just like, "Who the fuck are you?" He literally said, "Who the fuck are you? What the fuck?" Like, he did not expect me to be there, and I guess I wasn't supposed to be there. And so I was just there. So that planet I was at, I guess, was a planet that I had been on. It felt so familiar. It literally felt like home. It did. That's where I should be. And so I believe that is one planet that I am from. So I guess that makes me a starseed. But yeah, that is all the past lives that I can remember through that past life regression, and then the meditation I did on myself. So that was a lot to talk about. You guys, do you have any questions? I even took notes that I was going to talk about certain things, and of course I left them in my backpack, and I'm not going to go get them because I don't want to get up in the middle of a live stream. But yeah. So let's talk about demons. Do you guys have any questions? I know that's a lot to take in of everything I just said, and maybe you're processing, but yeah. Well, that was my experience. Some people have been messaging me on Instagram about questions about demons, so now I want to turn this into a Q&A, like questions. If you guys have any questions about anything demon related. Oh yeah, speaking of demons. So when I was in that session with Lauren and talking to Michael, I asked him, is that demon gone? Like, I wanted to confirm, like, is that demon gone for good? And he said, right now it's gone, but there are chances that you may have him come back, and then there are times that other demons will come because of what you are, and so you'll have periodically, but that demon is not with me right now. Thank God. Megan, why do you think it's so easy for some people to astral project and it's very difficult for other people? Okay, so from what I understand is there are just some people that are just good at it, right? Just like everything in life. You have people that are really great, like artists that can paint amazing. You have people that can only draw stick figures. It's kind of like that. And then in order to get better, meditation, meditation, meditation. And so if you try the sorry for that stroke. If you try some visualization techniques, it'll help you get better at it. If you are having issues with meditation, I kind of created like this trick by accident, and it entails, if you are by yourself, you're going to need another person to help you with this. But so when I'm at work in my one office, it's a 4-hour office, and I literally get like 1 or 2 customers a day, if that. There's sometimes I don't get anybody. And so there's a lot of like nothing to do after all the paperwork, which takes like 20 minutes. So I'll be sitting there, and I was like, you know what? I can be productive. I can. So also, I had issues because I'm astral projecting at night all the time. I'm tired, and so I doze off a lot. And so I was able to trick my brain into turning that sleep, when I doze off at work, into a meditative state. So I could meditate there, because a lot of time I don't have time to do it at home. And so what I did was, so there are 2 sections of that building. You have the lobby, and then you have the customer lobby where I deal with the customers. And it's separated by a door. So what I did was that both doors have a bell mechanism on it, like a basic like cowbell. So you have to move it to, get it to sound off. So I tied it to the door, so every time the door opens, I can hear someone come in the first door and know that they're probably going to come into the other door. So it gives me the chance to alert myself, and if I fall asleep, to wake up. So what happened was, when I did that, I would fall asleep, and then I would hear that first door. But sometimes, and a lot of times, those customers didn't go into the customer lobby. They did all their business in that other lobby. They got what they needed and left. Perfect. So eventually that tricked my brain into keeping myself from falling asleep, which is probably why I have issues sleeping in general, because my brain is kind of like it doesn't know how to go to sleep half the time. Unless I am really like exhausted to where like I'll pass out and then I don't have a choice. But so my brain tricked itself to stay in meditation all the time, and that's how that happened. So every time someone would walk through that door, it would alert me to pay attention and listen for the next bell. But if the next bell didn't go off, but it's still, I didn't fall asleep because my brain was still alert. So I guess you can apply this by, if you live with other people, find your room where you meditate. And I don't recommend meditating on like a bed, especially if it's hard for you to stay awake, because your brain associates your bed with sleep, except for mine. Yeah, that's a whole different story. But anyway, so go somewhere that's comfortable for you, but somewhere you won't lay down, unless that is how you have to meditate, because you have back problems, and I do. So sometimes I lay down to help my back. And so if you can put a bell somewhere nearby, right? And then have someone ring it randomly. You don't want it in set times, because your brain will associate the space of the time intervals, and so it'll memorize that. So if you ring the bell every 30 minutes, your brain will, every 30 minutes, it'll wake up. You don't want that. You want it to be random. So if you could put like a bell somewhere, and then every time like a brother, sister, mom, dad, whatever, walked past it, have them tap it. It'll keep you awake. The other thing is, if you're a parent, you kind of already have this built into you, because listening to your children cry, like when they're sleeping, like that's literally the same thing, but it's a child, not a bell. And it's random because you don't know when they're going to do it. They just do it. So you can try that. You can try to set an alarm on your phone, but it's hard because a lot of phones you have to hit the stop button or it'll just keep going, and then it'll break you out of meditation, so you kind of don't want to do that unless you can get it to ring for like a second and then have it turn off by itself and have it set at random intervals. That'll work. So there are different things you can try, like if you're having issues with meditation because you're falling asleep, and then to astral project, you just, again, practice on your meditation, but your visualization as well. So you can use those tricks that I had mentioned earlier and just, memorize things and try to visualize them. And then it's easier to, when you want to build your light, to visualize. Because if you can associate it, so let's say you've been doing the whole visualization practice stuff, and you can connect it to something you have in your room, right? So, I don't know, I don't have anything close by, but let's say I had a ball, right? You have a ball. Well, to meditate that ball of light, picture the ball that you have already. You know what it looks like. You've seen it a million times. So, picture the ball, right? But then make it bigger, right? And then make it shinier, right? And then, boom, there's your gold light. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a gold light. It could be whatever light that makes you feel safe and warm and happy and all that stuff. So that is one thing you can do. Does that help? I'm sorry if I'm talking too fast. I want to say it before I forget it. Alright, Veronique, you say, I'm still stuck at the new weapons. I feel like I know how it looks like. Okay. What do you mean, like you're still stuck at the new weapons? I feel like I know how it looks like. Veronique, can you please elaborate? If you can. Meanwhile, guys, if you have any other questions, ask them. How long does this video make go? Oh, we're an hour and 10 minutes. Wow. Something happened up here. What's going on? Omoma. Jesus is coming soon. Repent. Well, Jesus, I'm pretty sure, is done reincarnating. He's learned everything that he needs to. He is very ascended. So, if you think he's going to manifest on the physical, I don't believe so. I'm sorry with the whole, not to make a joke out of religion, but as someone who grew up Catholic, it's kind of funny of those people telling me that I need to repent and that, you know, to do all this stuff or I'm going to hell. Well, guess what? That's not how that works. So, you can get out if you're not going to be constructive or, you know, helpful. Okay, Veronique, I feel like I've seen them before. Scimitar blades in both ends of the stave. And the blades are like a rainbow or a crystal. The handle is like silver, but old silver. So with like black in the... Scimitars are my favorite weapons. Deeper parts of the blade, the handle is twisted like a rope. Yeah, that's like how my staff was. It was twisty. It was like it had that engraving in it. Yes, exactly like that. So, both ends of this. And the blades are like a rainbow or a crystal. Yes. Mine were... When I saw them last, my scimitars, right? They absorbed a lot of like dark energy. So I think what happened was every time I would get attacked, when that demon did that, the blade would absorb that dark energy. That's how mine worked. Only the middle are part of the stave. What is a stave? Is normal rod. What's a stave? Like a hilt? Do you mean like a hilt? So like, I have my sword, a sword. So like, this part's like the hilt. But yeah, each weapon that you are given is customizable to you. And one thing I did forget to mention, when I asked him if there were other things that I could do with it, he said, use it for, what the hell did he say? You can use it for whatever you want. You can customize its uses and how you use it. It doesn't... A big wand. Oh, okay. A long handle. So this part, is that what you're saying? So yeah, your weapons that they give you usually suit you. And I think my scimitar blades were... It's so hard to remember. It's been so long. I think they just look like normal metal, to be honest, for me anyway. But it wasn't like... Because they have different... what do you call it? Their materials, there we go, are different from ours, especially in the heaven realm. So, like, they have metals and stuff, but they have all this other kind of materials that we can't even comprehend. A very, very long at both sides of blade. Okay. It's hard for me to visualize that because I'm not quite understanding. But yeah. So, usually, you have to get a weapon from an angel, and it usually happens when you have ascended. But that is really cool, Veronique, that you have a weapon, because that means you did ascend. And usually, once you ascend higher, they will give you more weapons. And so, I must have ascended higher because they gave me that really cool double multi-purpose staff thing. Oh! It's like a long walking cane, but a stave is magical. Okay. Okay, I got you now. I got you. So yeah. That is freaking awesome, Veronique. That is awesome. Alright. So, if you guys aren't going to have any questions about paranormal or demons or whatnot. Oh, it's not my weapon. I see yours. Yes. Okay. Okay. It's not my weapon. I see yours. Yeah. So yeah, that's what it looks like. The crystal things that I saw. But remember too, when I was having that experience, it was very hazy and foggy and black and white, and I didn't see any colors. But that's just because my frequency and Michael's frequency were not 100% perfect. So it was hard to see everything in detail. But yeah, so mine was double-ended. It was like a staff. Yeah, it was really long. And the crystals, the way I saw them, were like a white, crystal-y color. But that was because I was seeing it in black and white. So you're saying that you saw it in different rainbow or crystal is silver, but old silver, yes. With the black, like like a twisted rope. Literally, that's exactly it. I mean, I can't confirm the rainbow part because I only saw it in black and white. But, I mean, sounds like that makes sense. So, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, Veronique. I got confuzzled. So, since you guys don't have any more questions, I might just end it. It's 1:15 here. This stream is, let me see, 1 hour and 19 minutes. So, I think I'm gonna end it. But thank you guys so much for joining me here on the Halloween live stream. I'm hoping to do more each month, so like 1 or 2, to just keep everybody on their toes, you know, and be more engaging to, you know, everyone. Veronique, I tapped into your frequency. Yo, that's fine. I don't even... You guys are considered friends, so that doesn't even bother me. But yeah. But it's cool to have validation, though. One thing I would like to add before I leave... One thing I like to add before I leave is I have a Patreon, and I upload all my videos there. And so now that we're at the end of October, I only do one like video a month. No, not a month. I'll do one video a week. So when I do my mass recordings, I'll do like a whole month's worth of videos, and I'll post them right there. So you can watch them early if you want, or you can, you know, wait for them to be uploaded on YouTube. Also, I have all my artwork on there. Comics, parts and snippets of the novel I've been working on. I also have like little gifts and stuff depending on the tiers you choose. I have some paranormal and I don't know what you want to call it. It's like paranormal help guidance. So like if you're being, haunted and you need help coping with it, I can help you get rid of the entity while also helping you like cope with what's going on. I know there are some people that'll help you with like the haunting itself, but they don't help your psyche in helping you figure out like to process. And so I offer that too on my Patreon. So all that, like the money there helps me to be able to create like my projects. So when I want to do my tarot cards, my oracle cards, publish my novel, that money helps me do all my projects. So if you guys want to support me, that is one way you can do it. And it's only $1 like to start. So if you guys want to, awesome. If not, that's okay too. But yeah, I'm going to end this live stream, and thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day for watching this. And always, if you have questions, comments, concerns, always leave them down below in the description or the comment section. I will answer them to the best of my ability. If I cannot, I will write them down and seek those answers for you. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.